Well, another Tuesday wrestling just went by, so AEW decided to make AEW Dark a very short, well, not that short, like up to an hour and a half. And of course, Impact Wrestling is now in their go home stage before we go to the next pay per view this Saturday, Turning Point. All of that will be discussed and reviewed on Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, 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 get up.
Welcome everyone to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, promotions, matches, wrestlers, and championships. I am your host J Rod here. Before I start reviewing AEW Dark and Impact Wrestling, I want to give you guys a couple announcements. If you guys been aware now, AEW has been launching AEW games, and they had some sort of a video that somewhere around maybe less than a half an hour that has Kenny, uh, Aubrey Edwards, Britt Baker, and Cody trying to act like they think they're Steve Jobs, but I'll see if I can put you guys the link so you guys get to see it. And the next thing up, it's already been announced by Major League Wrestling, or better known as MLW, that they will have new broadcasting shows coming up on November 17th, which is the day of the Wednesday Night War. Now, some of you are going to ask me, am I going to talk about this on the Wednesday Night War? Actually, the answer to that is no. I've been thinking about it for just a couple of days. I've been thinking it's better to keep the Wednesday Night War in the same general spot. Just only talk about AEW and NXT. But I can put MLW along with other wrestling shows after it. I can put it next to NXT UK, 205 Live, or any other wrestling shows somewhere. That way it won't interfere. That way I can try to keep it separate. You see, in the past, we used to do episodes like maybe up to 2 hours or so, but now it's getting too long, and I'm trying to keep things short as possible. Keep certain things like, let's say, covering the New Japan stuff. When if there's like longer days, up to 2 days, like up to a month, I try to reduce it to 2 days time. For the A block and the B block in the same kind of category. Um, if there's a shows on pay-per-views by itself or something, I'll try to add those. But with MLW, I decided I'm going to keep that separate away from the Wednesday Night War for you guys. So right now, let's jump into review AEW Dark. Okay, so AEW was less than an hour and a half short on this one. Now, like I said, AEW announced for their AEW games like several mobile systems that they discuss. I'm not sure about, like PlayStation or Xbox just yet. Um, if you guys like, they're announcing for that they will. You can subscribe on their YouTube page, Twitter. Don't remember what else, but yeah. Now, like I said, this is an hour and a half, less than an hour and a half show for AEW Dark. So let's start. So, half of these matches was revealed to be tag teams. Was like, okay, it's pretty interesting. But let's get into, well, majority of it. So let's just get into it. First match is TNT versus Chaos. Now, if you guys don't know TNT, this is a new tag team, twins to be exact, and they are the sons of ECW legend who's been well known throughout the wrestling world, D-Von Dudley. It's kind of amazing to see these guys make a debut in on AEW Dark. But however, their match was against none other than Chaos Project, consistent of Luther and Serpentico. It was a good match. I'm not gonna, deny, because these are the sons of D-Von Dudley, because sometimes we like to know, can they succeed better than their parents? We've seen wrestlers they do that. We've seen that with Cody and Dustin. We've seen that with Tessa. We've seen that with many others. But this is one of those matches like you would enjoy seeing what the twins can do, TNT. But it was a good match. But Chaos took the victory when they applied their final move. So hopefully AEW has them around for a while. I don't know if WWE has any interest in signing these guys. I'm not sure because we do know that they were part of the Dudleys were part of WWE for who knows how long. We'll just wait and see where they're gonna go. Now the next tag team is uh, Louis Valley and Justin Blacks versus uh, new signees, the acclaim consistent of Anthony Bowen and Max Caster. It was a pretty good match, also debuting more of Bowens and Caster, aka the acclaim. You probably ask yourselves, what do I think of them? I have to say, okay, I don't know much about these guys. I do know that they were possibly training, either they were training in the independents or still learning curve, but we'll just see. But for them as a tag team, it's pretty interesting to see how they can work together. I don't know if the idea of pairing them was a good choice for AEW when they signed them both. If you guys don't know this, WWE were interested in Anthony Bowens, but he got the AEW deal instead. Now, I think the Acclaim has a very interesting intro when they come in where they diss everybody when they're in the ring. You know, I thought that was a pretty good gimmick. But the Acclaim, I have to say, they're very interesting to watch. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I still need to be sold on them, you know. But we'll see down the line in the upcoming weeks, see how they go from there. But they took the victory on this one. The next one is Baron Black and Frankie Thomas versus Top Flight. Now, Top Flight has been around before. I do know one of them. He Airwolf. I think it's Dante something. But Top Flight is a pretty good team. I think uh, they have that aerial luchador style that I like. You know, if you guys don't know this, I've always been a luchador fan. I love the lucha libre stuff since I was a kid watching Consejo Mundial Lucha Libre. But I would like to see Top Flight. Now there is still no indication. But as for the other guys, I don't know who they are. But however, I did suspect it right from the start that Top Flight could win this match. Don't ask me how. It was my inner gut that was telling me. So they took up the victory. Do I think they should be in AEW? I'm not sure, but I hope they do because I know that their main focus has always been with the tag team division. And we all can agree that right now the AEW tag team division is the best one outside of WWE, you know, so we'll see how that goes. Now, in the recent week ago, ever since Peter Avalon a couple weeks ago lost to Brandon Cutler and he told Leva Bates that he never did appreciate her that much, he just used her. Ever since he lost the battle to Brandon Cutler, it kind of went into a different storyline. I think they decided AEW decided to drop Peter Avalon using the librarian gimmick and now being like a total bachelor. He's been seeing last week. He's been seeing with the mystery woman. It's still no clue who this mystery woman is. You can't see her face, but it was like one of those POV type of video package that has been sent. As for Leva Bates, well, we're gonna see her in this one. Now the next match is the Captain Sean Dean, who we've been seeing mostly, Adam Priest versus TH2. And during the commentary, we had Frankie Zarin, who's been just sitting there watching this match. As you know, there's been now a rivalry between both TH2 and SCU. But, of course, this match went straight to the Hybrid 2 due to Angelico's maneuver putting his opponent into a submission move, since that's one of his fortes that he's been using. So TH2 won this particular match. The next one is David Ali and Ashton Starr versus Lucha Brothers. As you know, the Lucha Brothers are set to face each other this coming Wednesday at Dynamite. Can't wait to see that. So the match was alright, but I was impressed how certain things that both the other guy, Frankie Thomas, what he can do, what he did Tope Suicida, all of this. But however, you cannot outmaster guys like Pentagon and Ray Phoenix, what they can do as aerial rest high flyer. Excuse me. It's already like after 1:30 or so. Now, the next match is a women's match is Danny Jordan versus Leva Bates. Now, this is Leva Bates' um, first wrestling match without Peter Avalon being there. I feel now that they're giving her a good push now that they can focus on her as solely the true librarian or so, or the only librarian in AEW. So it's kind of interesting, but I have to say, this is a real good push for her, and I feel AEW are doing the right thing, giving her a bigger push now. She has been on a losing streak before, either as singles or tag team. Um, but she picked up the victory for this match against Danny Jordan. Hopefully they give her a good push. I'm not sure how long she's going to be in Dark, but we'll see how that goes from there. Now the next match is Fuego del Sol versus Allen Five Angels of the Dark Order. I have to say Fuego. I've known him a little bit. If you guys don't know this, the first time I ever heard of Fuego del Sol is thanks to like I discovered Thunder Rosa. Thanks Sammy Guevara for that. So it's all his fault. No, sorry, Sammy. It's your fault for introducing your friends. So anyway, I have to say this is a really good match between both guys. Like Fuego having that luchador style and Alan Angels being that aggressive of a high flyer that he is. I wasn't. I was like thinking, could they give him an upset? I mean, I would like to see Fuego del Sol be with AEW. I mean, would you guys? Would I mean? I see how Cody tried to put him over a few times, but we'll see how that goes. But however, this match was good. I liked it. But Allen Five Angels won this match. I hope I get to see more of Fuego del Sol. See how that goes. Now, the next match is a women's tag team. We had Dream Angel, Dream Girl Ellie, and Jenna Sight versus Eva Lees and Diamante. I mean, I don't know who these two women are. The first team, they are unknown, but they had some impressive moves that they put out against both Evilise and Diamante. But however, I've always just like always, Evilise and Diamante they took the victory thanks to Evilise putting Dream Girl Alley in a big time submission. So I'm not sure if Evilise or Diamante are currently signed with AEW. I mean, I would love to see them, you know, be in AEW, but we'll see how that goes when we get there. Now, the main event is Sunny Kiss and the bad boy Joey Janela versus Jurassic uh, Express, um, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. It was a really interesting match because, as you know, they're all good friends. Some of these guys known each other from GCW or other promotions, but it was a good match to see. I really liked it since it was basically a friendly competition type. So, but there's always a winner, and I think the fan favorite to me was Jurassic Express. So, I think that's pretty much it. What I got for you guys on this one for AEW Dark. Before I end it right here, I hope you guys saw Being the Elite recently. There were some really funny things that happened. Now, I'm not sure what's gonna take place after watching Being the Elite, as you guys know or heard. Apparently, somebody posted this that if the Bucks didn't win the AEW tag teams, then what's next? Somebody said TNT tag team championships. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. But all of a sudden, that wish came true when they posted it on it, where they had those like a modified version of those titles. I'm like, I wonder if that was already like thought of. But the last part of AEW is seeing of being the elite. Of course, Silver was still dealing with the loss against Orange Cassidy, but of course, they try to cheer him up. And of course, the one person that was able to do that was the one guy Silver's never get along to. I'm talking about Stu. He actually tell him F Hangman. They were saying it, and Hangman was getting into it. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen. We just gotta wait and see until Dynamite. So I think that's it for now with the AEW Dark. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about is Impact Wrestling. So let's do that right now. Okay, we're only a few days away from Impact Wrestling's latest pay per view, Turning Point, which is this Saturday. We have the world title being on the line, the knockouts title, tag team titles, and several grudge matches that we have. So, um, let's go from uh, the first match is Tennille Dashwood teaming up with Madison Rain versus Havoc and Nevi. Now, this is a crucial part of their match. This was only trying to stir up things between all the tag team division due to the women's the knockouts tag team division. As you know, it's already been revealed that they're going to bring back the knockouts tag team championship, which is good. I feel like Impact has a much better um, way to deal with women's tag team. Unlike WWE, we've been seeing it because the they can bounce around from one brand to another, but seeing that they can do it better. So Madison Rain and Teal Dashwood did team up. They were testing themselves to see if they could click. However, it didn't go exactly the plan. Tennille Dashwood just left Madison Rain hanging while she was taken out by uh, Havoc, and allowing Havoc and Nevi actually picking up the victory on this one. So yeah, the next thing we see is an interview with the Good Brothers. As you know, it's already been set for the main event. Uh, Josh Alexander of the North is facing against Good Brother member Carl Anderson. But of course, the more they were talking, they were interfered by Ethan Page, who has a big, massive ego, as always. He gets in people's nerves, and they ended up with a slap in the face from each side. So it was a good. It's like one of those days where you had to whip someone with a glove in the face, like someone had to duel. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Now, the mystery continues on who shot John E. Bravo. So, Tommy Dreamer is using lie detector tests to find out who's telling the truth. So, his first person was Larry D. Of course, he denied saying that he had anything to do with it, and the lie detector's telling he's okay. And then there's Cody Deaner, who was the next recipient. Now, there were evidence suggesting he did say he was going to kill Bravo, and of course, that's the kind of thing that but it continues on, which much of the answer who killed Bravo, who shot Bravo. Now, the next match is the X Division Championship, but this was also the last chance for TJP. As you know, TJP has been had it with Rohit Raju. Rohit Raju always been a sneaky player. He tries to pretend that he thinks that he work hard. He's tired of facing the same opponents. He wants some people new, thinking he could take them out. I mean, I've thought that maybe TJP was going to win this one, but however, uh, somehow Rohit Raju was able to get away with it by bringing the title into the ring, but a low blowing TJP. So I thought it kind of ended where, okay, he's going to continue trying to pretend he is what matters, that he is the true champion and all that he had to climb. But there are those who disagree, saying that you just weaseled your way in just to obtain that title. He did that with Chris Bay, but we'll see where they're gonna go with that. Now, as you know, there's the continuation with with the Bravo. Of course, Falabal was being confronted by Hernandez, telling him, Fala actually accused him, saying you shot him because of what I said. He's like saying maybe you shot him because he was going to turn you over to me. So basically, it's still the same old story. But however, because Falabal stirred things up by stealing Hernandez's money, he was saved by Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steeles, and somehow they were able to steal the wads of Hernandez's cash out of his pocket from his shirt. So Falabala didn't see it until he realized it's too late. But however, he's being interrogated as well. So we'll see how that goes. So, this is going to be one crazy segment with Hernandez's money. Now, I've always loved the Treehouse, with the Rascals. However, things are coming to an end. They're being evicted because A, they haven't paid rent. Trey goes, it's a tree. But apparently they also being told they're departing Impact Wrestling, that next week could be their last appearance. I mean, it sucks. I love the Rascals. I love what they throw in, especially their stint with the Treehouse. But we'll see how that goes later on. Now the next match is AC Romero along with Larry D versus Chris Sabian. So basically, Larry D and AC Romero Triple XL are not too thrilled with um, the Motor City Machine Guns. As you know, they do have a rematch clause, but however, Triple XL felt like these guys need to get in the back of the line, so they injured more Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabian had to go at it alone against AC Romero. I mean, it was a really good singles match between these two men, and I wasn't expecting Chris Sabian to walk out as the victor, but however it did. But in the aftermath, Larry D came out to take him out and beat him up some more, and it tells a good story. Like saying, okay, Chris Sabian, he has to do what he can to continue on without Alex Shelley until he gets back on his feet. So that's kind of an interesting thing to see. So we'll see where they're gonna go. Now, as you know, Chris Bay has already been set to face Eddie Edwards in a match. He got visited by an unlikely person. So Sammy Callahan had something in mind. Even though Chris Bay doesn't like him, however, he actually listened what he has in mind. And it ended right there, so it's still unclear. Now, the continuation on who shot Bravo goes on. Apparently, the person that Dreamer's interrogating is in fact father is James Mitchell. Now, he has a lot of history with Rosemary. He Dreamer reminded him that he was the one who that he had a war between both Rosemary and him, and you thought about killing him. Now, James Mitchell's not going to lie saying that, I'm a deceiver. Yeah, it's in my blood, in my DNA. But I can tell you who actually did it. So he kind of gave in a little bit of the detail who it is. And it ended right there. So that continued on. Next match is Chris Bay versus Eddie Edwards. Now, I don't know what was all of this about between Chris Bay and Sammy, but this match was really good. It was good, I have to say, seeing Chris Bay facing a guy like Eddie Edwards. But however, Eddie Edwards won the match, but he was attacked by none other than Sammy Callahan, and then all of a sudden, Rich Swann, the current Impact Wrestling World Champion, came out for the save. But however, Shamrock showed up and gave the helping hand. But however, the numbers still gained between all three men versus Swan and Edwards. But however, Calvary showed up is none other than the Rascals. So they're the ones that picked up the save, and it was pretty good how they came up. Now, the next segment you see is Tennille Dashwood approaching an unlikely person to tag team, and that person is Jordan Grace. Now, as you know, like I said before, this is just the beginning for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships that's going to take place soon. And that is one of those things that is going on. I think they're building up these stories with the Knockouts who will be in a tag team. Alicia Edwards is still unclear with her, but she wasn't there today, but we'll see where they go. Now, Rich Swann came out with the Rascals to give them a hug and all that, aware that's what's happening, that they'll be gone next week, but he'd say, let's end it with a bang. So he suggested that he teams up with Trey Miguel facing off Dez and Wentz. So this is going to be one of those matches we definitely got to pay attention. So it's going to happen next week, so we just got to wait and see how that's going to go. Now, the next thing we have is an Impact Plus flashback moment of the week. Is a turning point event from 2009. It's for the tag team championship, the Impact World Tag Team titles between Beer Money and the British Invasion, if you guys remember that. That was a very good, interesting storyline where um, Robert Roode was shocked to find out that they were betrayed by Kevin Nash for some unknown reason, losing the match to the British Invasion. So that was kind of like a good story. I remember that feud very well, but I have forgotten on certain of the details that happened. So I can't wait to see more of it. Now, there was an interview with Deonna Purrazzo. She's well aware about what's happening. So Deonna hasn't forgotten for losing the title, but however, she realized this particular type of match is in right on Su Young's alley. So she has to realize, okay, anything could happen. She could have Kimberly to help her out. I mean, it's not a brainer. It's a no disqualification match. So she knows she has to put her game face on in order to win. But however, something happened. Kimberly just disappeared. And she was taken out none other by Su Young. Now that is kind of like when you see her glimpse in the glass window, saying you're all alone now. It feels like a movie of Freddy Krueger, where you see like a horror movie. But it was pretty good. I like that segment. So we'll see how that goes at Turning Point. I will be reviewing that when on a Sunday or so. Now the continuation with Who Shot Bravo continues on. So Father James Mitchell stirred into the direction of Havoc. As you know, Havoc and Rosemary, along with Su Young, were able to put Father James Mitchell into some sort of interdimensional realm where he can't get out. However, she was questioned whether, were you angry that you made a deal with Rosemary to bring back Father James Mitchell? She wasn't denying it. So the question is, was she capable of getting even with Rosemary by shooting Bravo just for bringing Mitchell back? So that kind of continues on. So the real story is still don't know who shot Bravo. So we'll see where that goes. Now, the next match is a tag team match between Reno Scum versus an unlikely team of Falabal and Crazy Steve. Now, this, as you know, Crazy Steve and Falabal have been odds with each other ever since the whole thing with the wedding took place. But it was Reno Scum that took the victory on this one. Um, there was a really funny segment with Chris Sabin where he needs someone to watch his back while Shelly's out. So he approached to someone that he's familiarized with, an old rival, and that person was none other than the cowboy James Storm. So James Storm said that, they both have been in the same predicament before with their respective teams. But however, Chris Sabin doesn't drink beer. I thought it was funny. So he said he'll have his back to be his partner. Now, the next thing we see is Willie Mack, who's trying to get cleared, but however, he was sneak attacked by Moose. You're getting to see a much darker side of Moose ever since he took out EC3. But the real question remains, how far is he going to go? So Willie Mack and Moose will have their match at Turning Point. So that is something I'm looking forward to see. And I will review this. Now it's main event time. We had Josh Alexander of the North facing off against Carl Anderson of the Good Brothers. Great match. I love the story, how the rivalry between both teams is running. The way I like this, the fact is, the Good Brothers made it perfectly clear why they're in Impact. They want to obtain the titles that have eluded them. They have been IWGP heavyweight tag teams. They've been Raw, SmackDown. I don't remember if NXT is one of them. So they managed to obtain every titles they can get. So, however, Impact is one of the championships they need to obtain to make their resume. So, but however, the match ended in no DQ, and it ended up with the melee from both teams. So we'll see what happens this Saturday for the Impact World Tag Team Championships between the North and um, the Good Brothers. Now, here's the matches I am aware of. We got the World uh, title between Swan and Callahan, the tag team titles between the North and the Good Brothers, the knockouts in a no disqualification match between Su Young and Deonna Purrazzo, Hornswoggle versus Brian Myers, um, Eddie Edwards versus I forgot who was going to be in the match. But yeah, so there are other matches I am fully aware, but I will review that on Saturday for Turning Point. I'll see if I can keep that separate away from the other things as possible. So, but for now, I'm going to end it right here for all of you guys. Really need to start doing other things. Get ready for the Wednesday Night War. So I must bid all of you guys adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.